Hello everyone, it is I, SonicQ1011, back again with another video, and we're continuing the 10 Days of Sonic. This time I am going to rank the levels in Sonic 2 8-bit. So, without further ado, let's start with my least favorite level in the game, and that will be Underground Zone, especially when we're talking about the Game Gear version of level, because the boss is coded differently between the Master System version and the Game Gear version, to where the first boss drops bombs and the bombs bounce at different heights. Combined with the screen crunch of the Game Gear makes Underground Zone nearly impossible to beat. But in the Master System version, the boss drops bombs and it's at a set level, like at a set height, so you pretty much know how they're gonna bounce and you can see more. So it's a lot easier than the Game Gear version, but it's still my least favorite level in the game. It's almost like it should have been further on in the game, which it should have. It was. And prototype version of the game, Green Hills is the first level. You would think it would have been the first level in the final version, but they switched those levels around at some point. Anywho, going on with my second least favorite level. And I have to say Gimmick Mountain. It's a pain in the butt. I do like in one of the acts that you exit from the opposite side of the screen, so you exit from the left rather than the right, and I think that's kind of neat that they did that, but it's still a pain in the butt. And, it's one of the last levels in the game, so it is going to be a pain in the butt, so I would rank it my second least favorite level in the game. Anywho, moving on to the next one. I have to say, Aqua Lake. It's a water level. And again, on 8-bit consoles and handhelds, the games are already kind of slow, but the water really makes it harder. I do like that the foreground has sponges, and I think that's really cool. And there's really odd, object placements in the Master System version, because it's the only place in the game where the speed shoes appear, and then they completely remove that in the Game Gear version, and I'm not really sure why they had it and then removed it to begin with. It would have fit better in a different level, but whatever. Anywho, moving on to the next level, I have to say Scrambled Egg comes next. I like the artwork. I think it's a fun final quote-unquote level, and you get to take on Silver Sonic, and I showed you what he looked like in a previous video. But I like a few other levels better, but it's still a fun level to play, still a pain in the butt again, because again, quote unquote, it's a final level if you don't get all the Chaos Emeralds. Hint hint. But overall, it's not too bad. So next, Green Hills would come next. Again, it was supposed to be the first level in the game, and the prototype version shows that Green Hills is the first level in the game. And again, it's just kind of like just Green Hill again, just with an added S at the end of Hill, but whatever. And it's actually one of the few levels in the game that has loops. But it's still a fun level, and it should have been the first level in the game, not Underground Zone, but I don't know why the devs switched those around. But anyway, moving on to my second favorite level in Sonic 2 8-bit, Sky High Zone. And I love this level because it's similar to Hilltop Zone, which, that's one of my favorite levels in Sonic 2 16-bit. Except for you're up in the air. Now, I do not like the hang glider, though. It's kind of a pain in the butt to deal with. I don't really care for that gimmick too much, but I really do like the level, and I like how in second act you got that wind effect in the background, and there's like leaves and stuff. I think that's really cool that they added those little effects. So, like, Sonic's going through a thunderstorm and he's all the way up in the sky, and I thought that was really cool. But my favorite level in the entire game is Crystal Egg Zone, and the only way you can play it is if you get all the Chaos Emeralds. But my god, not only does that level look beautiful. It's got my favorite song in the game as well, and it's a great final level. It really is, and it's really worth getting all the Chaos Emeralds to play Crystal Egg Zone. You just gotta find them in the levels, because that was the gimmick for Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 8-bit. You gotta find the Chaos Emeralds in the levels. I do wish that we did get some type of bonus stage in Sonic 2 8-bit, but we didn't. So, those are all the levels, and that's my ranking of all the levels in Sonic 2 8-bit. And this has been another episode of the 10 Days of Sonic. I hope we all take care. Be sure to like, ring the bell for more, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next episode of the 10 Days of Sonic.